Jenner here. It's day 194 since wildfire was declared, and 63 days since the disease abruptly went global. There's no clinical progress to report.
I am recording. I have a Walking Dead theory. They don't come often, but I thought about it this week. I was watching episode 6 of the first season of The Walking Dead, which I found the most intriguing because that was the episode where the group went to the CDC and encountered Edwin Jenner, the last remaining survivor of the whole staff that was there, if you remember that scene. Then I was also watching the episode before, episode 5, when they left Jim alone on the side of the road. And then you see Edwin Jenner, were introduced to him at the CDC. He was testing a sample. And then he started transmitting something. If you see it, he was transmitting a message. He was also doing it at the end, in the final half an hour countdown, before he blew the whole place up. And we all know how that panned out. But this has led me to have a theory about these transmissions. And this is what bugs me out about it, because, Jenner basically said, this is our extinction event, right? And he said that this is it. There's no hope left. He didn't feel like there was any hope left. But what's funny is that nonetheless, he still wanted to leave a message. Now, it makes no sense if you think about it. It said, when he said, I am recording, people thought, well, maybe, there's something that will survive the explosion. Really? You don't know that. So my presumption on that is that this message that these messages he was recording and transmitting was being sent out to someone else. Someone else who would somehow continue the work he started at the CDC. That maybe if there was any kind of shred of hope, that maybe this whole thing can be fixed and turned around. I found that very intriguing. And the reason why this is important is because I like to see things connect in any series, whether it, no matter what the series is. If I'm really into it, I like to see things connect. And I'd like to think that something like that connects. Here is my theory. Ready? I think those people that took Rick in season 9 on the helicopter, remember? I have an A, I have a B. I think they are the ones that received the transmission from Jenner. Call it a stretch. But maybe there's a reason why they want an A, and there's a reason why they want a B. Think about it for a minute. Why is that so important to them? They obviously have helicopters. They obviously are well equipped with that ability. So then, what's going on? And why hasn't Rick come back after 6-7 years being taken away? Everybody thinks he's dead. That's the part that bugs me out. I'm thinking that this movie, this offshoot movie that they're making with Andrew Lincoln in it, adds Rick, we're going to see what happens. I think that's going to answer the question. I also think that, and this is pretty much a prediction now for this offshoot movie that AMC will be releasing, is that it's going to be connected to that transmission. All the information that Jenner sent out before he died in the first season, these guys, these AB people, I'm going to call them the AB people because I got nothing else to go with here, the helicopter people, I think that they're going to do something, or they're working on something to solve the crisis, to solve the apocalypse, to put an end to this virus. I mean, you got to really think about it in essence. It's been about a decade since the outbreak. You still have people dying and coming back as walkers. Is that the way it has to be now for the rest of our lives? When you have an old one pass away, or somebody has cancer, or somebody got hit by a car, or ran over by a horse, or got shot, appendicitis, anything. You'll come back as a walker. Does it have to be that way? It's that as if there has to be a system set up where time of death, 11:28 p.m., stab him in the head. That kind of sucks. You gotta stab him in the head. According to Jenner's findings, the resurrection times varied from person to person, from a few minutes to several hours. So you don't know when they're coming back. And so the best thing for you to do is to kind of like do it immediately. Nip it in the bud. So how does this work? I think this movie is going to answer that question. I have a feeling that somehow these people were connected to the CDC, that they received the transmissions. There's no reason for a transmission to be transmitted if you really think there's no hope. Maybe Jenner did have a little ray of hope. He just didn't let the group know. That's my theory. I don't know. I could be completely wrong about this. I've been wrong in the past about other theories. But I'm really curious about how that pans out. I like to see how it connects. And I think as a fan, that's always been my thing. I would love to see things connect. Now, be honest, I'm sure that when they were working on the first season and they created that scenario, that they weren't yet thinking about these helicopter people with the A, B, and all that, unless they really weren't thinking that far ahead in the future. Probably not. Maybe it was an idea, and then they shelved it, and then they took it off the shelf. But hey, maybe this can work. This can go in many different ways. I just don't know which way it's going to go. So there's my theory about Jenner's transmissions and the AB people. Do you think this will come around full circle? Talk to me. Comment below and share with me your thoughts about this theory regarding the universe of The Walking Dead. This is Ralph Perez from Strange Planet. Take care.